Hello everyone, myself Amol Kumbalkar from Indus Engineering Career Guidance Academy. It gives me great pleasure to introduce ourselves on this YouTube platform. We are here engaged in the different engineering activities for the students as well as for the professionals from last 2 decades. We took this opportunity to introduce ourselves on this platform so that we can help the students from the engineering background, and we will try to support those students who are getting difficulties and are not able to get the proper consultation at timely, so that it's our effort to produce our proficiencies in the teaching, so that they can be helped to the underprivileged and the students who needs for their understanding. So taking this concept into the mind, we have now decided to produce some of the subjective series of videos, so that it will help the aspiring and needing engineering students. So now let us start with today's session. Today we have decided to start our series with a subject of engineering mechanics. So first of all, we will going to see what this engineering mechanics is and what are their fundamental principles and laws. So today we will see in our first video we will see what is this mechanics. So let us start with this today's topic, that is, what is the mechanics. So strictly speaking, mechanics is a branch of science which deals with the study of forces and its effect acting on a body, either it is at a rest or is in a motion. Under the action of forces, how the body behaves and what it shows the result, that we will going to study in this subject. And this subject of mechanics is broadly classified in three different ways or three categories. So the first category is that the mechanics of rigid body, second is the mechanics of deformable body, and third is the mechanics of fluids. So first of all, when we talk about the mechanics of rigid bodies, so the mechanics of rigid bodies is specifically concentrated in analyzing the effect of forces acting on a body which is at either rest or in a motion and is a rigid one. Strictly speaking, in actual practice, there is no any kind of a structure or a machine under consideration which is been subjected to the forces will be a rigid one, because the concept of rigid body is a purely theoretical. So it is just assumed that it is the rigid body, and comparative to the forces, the corresponding deformation which is going to take place due to the forces acting on the body will not going to affect appreciably to the overall structure of the member. So therefore it is considered as a rigid one. Okay. So this is the analysis which has been done in this context, that the deformation when will be very less and will not going to play appreciable role, then the study will be considered as the rigid body study. So we can call that as a mechanics of rigid body. And now when we see that the deformation when is going to happen, that is the part or that is also available, and it is necessary to understand the deformation also. So body is definitely going to undergo kind of a deformation due to the forces, and they will going to show some kind of the characteristics. So that can be studied in the subject of the mechanics of materials or the strength of materials. So where we will going to consider the actual amount of deformation which is going to take place due to the external forces and due to the characteristic property of the material, then that there the study will be considered as the mechanics of deformable bodies. So this is the second classification of subject of mechanics. Now let us see what this third classification, and third classification is called as the mechanics of fluids. As we know that the fluids means the substance which flow. We will see the detail in their upcoming sessions, but the basic idea of the fluid is the substance which can readily flow. So when we study these fluids under the action of forces, then this study is called as the mechanics of fluids, and this mechanics of fluid is further subdivided in two important classification. One is the incompressible fluids and second is the compressible fluids. So when the study is done, then further this incompressible fluid is further subcategorized in a mean way, that is called as the hydraulics. And hydraulics is that branch which specifically deals with the study of problems arising with the study in with the water. So when we are going to study the problem arising with the forces on the water, then that study is called as the hydraulics, which is a very important branch and important subject in a further studies. So this is the third classification of the mechanics, that is the mechanics of fluids. So this is the brief introduction about the subject of mechanics. Now let us see how this mechanics study has begun and from where this has been originated. And we know that the study of mechanics has been done from a very longer time. It is then carried out from the period of Aristotle, Archimedes, and all the engineers and scientists working from the very ancient periods. But we can see that these people have just contributed and put forward some rules and theorems on their experience basis. Unless and until Sir Isaac Newton had not produced his researches and his principles, which gives the scientific base and formulated the principles which are now being considered as the governing principles of mechanics. So the Newton, who have first provided the scientific base and the principles to the in front of us, so that it has been now referred as the Newtonian mechanics in entire further studies. Further, the mechanics has been contributed by the several scientists like the D'Alembert, Lagrange, Hamilton. So these peoples have also contributed the principles of they have modified the principles of the Newtons and put forward the newer theories which are also useful for the study. So they have also been taken into the considerations, unless the Einstein have put forward his theory of relativity in 1905. But still there are the limitations of which are also coming forward, but the basis of the Newton's mechanics is still in existence. So that is why it's very, very important to be kept into the mind that about the Newtonian mechanics and Newton's contribution in the field of mechanics. So it's a very important that the one must recognize the contribution of the Newtons. What is that we will see in a very sooner section of this subject also. Now moving forward the principle and idea on which the mechanics rely. For that, one has to remember that the entire study of the mechanics, which is relied or is based on four basics of used in mechanics, are space, mass, time and force. So on these four concepts the entire mechanics study revolves, and it's the concept cannot be truly defined, but they should be accepted on the basis of our intuitions, logic, experiences and the mental frame on which of the reference for the study of mechanics. The concept of space is associated with the notion of position of a particle. Let us consider there is one point in a space that can be defined or can be measured by the three different lengths. This measurement of length can be regarded with reference point or can be considered with an origin. So that will going to give us the coordinate of a point, and that can be referred as a position of the point or a particle. To define an event, it is not sufficient to locate the position of a body only in the space. The time of the event is also should also be given. Now the concept of mass can be regarded as, or can be used as a characterized to compare the bodies of on the basis of certain fundamental mechanical experiments. Let us consider the two bodies of the same mass, for example, will attracted by the earth in the same manner. If we are having two different bodies of a same size and same mass, and they if are being released, we can see both of them we can attract toward the earth in the same manner. Similarly, they will also offer some resistance to the motion and to the change of translatory motion. And the fourth basic point which has to be kept into the mind is the force, which is very important in inter-analysis. A force represents the action of one body on another. It can be exerted by actual contact or at a distance, as in case of gravitational force and magnetic force. We can see that in the magnetic force, the body get attracted towards the earth. Similarly, we can experience whenever any magnetic body comes in contact or comes in the magnetic field, it can experience the magnetic force. So there is no kind of the contact. A force is characterized by its point of application, its magnitude, its direction, and its sense. So these are the four characteristics with which a force can be characterized, and a force can be represented by a vector. So how that force is recognized, how it can be represented, that we will see in upcoming sessions, in upcoming lessons of this subject. In a Newtonian mechanics, space, time and mass are absolute concepts, independent of each other. This is not true in relativistic mechanics, where the time of an event depends upon its position, and where the mass of body with its velocity. On the other hand, force is not independent of other three. Indeed, one of the fundamental principles of Newtonian mechanics, which we will discuss in the latter part of the session, indicates that the resultant force acting on the body is related to its mass and to the manner in which its velocity changes with respect to time. We will study the condition of rest or motion of a particle and rigid bodies in the manner of four basic concepts that we have introduced, that is space, time, mass and force. Now by particle we means a very small amount of matter which may be assumed to occupy a single point in the space. A rigid body is a combination of a large number of particles occupying fixed positions with respect to each other in the rigid body. The study of mechanics of a particle is obviously a prerequisite to that of the rigid bodies. So it has to be remembered that the analysis of a particle is very important, because besides the results obtained for a particle can be directly in a large number of problems dealing with the condition of rest or motion of bodies in actual conditions can be regarded. These are what are the fundamental concepts of the mechanics point of view. Now let us see what are the fundamental principles. Up till now what we have seen, what is the mechanics, what are the fundamental concepts, and now we will see what are the fundamental principles. The study of elementary mechanics rests on the 6 fundamental principles. So entire mechanics subject, if we consider, they all rely on these 6 fundamental principles, out of which most of the principles we have learned from our school days. Okay, so just we will summarize that and we will put it in the manner where we can associate it in on a context of the mechanics. So what are those principles? The very first principle we have to remember is the law of parallelism of forces for additions. Second, the law of transmissibility of forces. Third, then there are 3 laws, as the Newton's first law of motion, Newton's second law of motion, and Newton's third law of motion. These are the fundamental laws. Then another important law, the principle we have to remember, that is the Newton's gravitational law. So in upcoming session or upcoming lecture, we will study these 6 principles very first, then we will go further for the analysis of the mechanics. This is what for today's lecture. Hope you will find this information useful for your studies, and if you like it, you do share it with your friends and subscribe this channel for the further notifications. Till then, I am signing off from this dais. Until we meet in, till then, bye.